the Pakistani players were saying it, I believe the name was Tanveer, I believe, that Pakistani player's name,
Right.
ex-cricketer's name. So he was saying that he, ठीक है, if you can do it in Asia Cup, but you cannot do it in ICC events. India has to come to Pakistan, right? So
Right.
Harbhajan Singh said that, but India has never come to Pakistan since 2008
Right.
or 2009. So it is unlikely that it will come, right? And then eventually Tanveer, the Pakistani cricketer, said that no, they have to come. I can challenge you. So Harbhajan Singh said, ठीक है, I'll take your challenge. They will not come. India will not come. So that was his opinion. That
Opinion.
see, the Pakistani player was saying that as a ICC event, India should come.
Right.
That was his opinion, right?
Right.
Because ICC has never said that in the ICC event, there are obviously uh, clauses
Security
that if
issues
they
were there.
whatever there are always clauses, right?
Hmm.
That if the government says no, you can bail out of it.
Right.
But again, those are two people's opinion. When Singh gave his opinion, that person gave his opinion, and today, whatever is happening, if you see, and there was a lot of controversy about Harbhajan Singh in Pakistan. That okay, he's always so they started doing propaganda against Harbhajan Singh, that he's somebody who is always against Pakistan and
But
he never.
Harbhajan, like in your opinion, he was right because security issues was there.
See, he's no secure. See, 2 years ago, you cannot just say security issues. But
Welcome to Set Talks. Today, we have an exciting guest who is a master at captivating audiences with stories. Joining us is Ankit Uttam, a highly skilled content consultant, best-selling author. He is someone who helps startups and individuals craft their stories that truly resonate with their target audience. With over 20 fiction books to his name, he's a master storyteller and he has been a guest speaker at TED Talks. Ankit's storytelling has made him successful and he has taken that to the top. And today he will share his insight on content strategy, side hustle, audience engagement, and the art of writing that connects with people. Whether you're looking to improve your content strategy, learn about side hustles, or the master art of storytelling, Ankit got you covered. Let's drive in right now. Welcome to Set Talks. Ankit, how are you?
thanks, Cedric. Good.
Yeah,
How are you?
yeah, I'm doing good. It's been a while. It's been a month. We are discussing our podcast, and I'm really excited. Finally, we are here. All right, let's get started. I have some questions lined up for you, Ankit. Are
Yeah.
you ready?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Tell me.
Yeah. So, Ankit, I was going through your profile. You've been a successful writer, content consultant. So, you are a best-selling author and a content consultant. How did your journey into storytelling and content strategy begin?
See, the thing is that writing stories, I've been writing stories since my college days. So my
Hmm.
first book was published in 2010, and I was writing it for like I started writing it for
Hmm.
around 2007 when I was in my last year of college, when I was in my fourth year of BTech.
Hmm.
So I never thought that it could be published as a book, but when I when I graduated, there was
Right.
a 2008 was a great recession time, and I was searching for a job also in Bangalore. So during that time, I used to write a lot to you know vent my frustration, to vent my anger, and eventually that formed a book that created that was so that was a story that wrote as my first book, and then eventually I started sending it to publishers. There were a lot of rejection. I believe I had sent it to almost every publisher that I could find. Uh, in India, and they all rejected me. Eventually, I got one of the publishers. They agreed to publish it, and that was the culmination of the 3 years of hard work. And that book sold well also in 2010, because that was a time when people were reading those kind of books in India.
Hmm.
Like that was college stories, office stories, like Chetan Bhagat kind of books, if you can say it,
Right, right,
right? And post that, I wrote two more books that those were published in 2011 and 2012. So as storytelling started from there. It started because of my frustration, because of my anger,
right.
uh, because I was looking for a job and there was no jobs in the market. 2008 recession was something that changed me as a person also, because my whole outlook towards job also changed. I was Because that was a time when I realized that jobs are not permanent. Unlike our
Right,
parents, they had
right,
these permanent, government jobs, long-term jobs. Even if you are in private, you had the luxury of working till 60 or 58, right?
right,
But
right, right,
2008 told me that jobs are not permanent and you can be fired, you can be laid off anytime. It all depends on the market, right? And when you know that, when you realize that, you feel very helpless.
right, right.
So since 2008, when I uh, started the job, I was always looking to create passive incomes, and I think that was something that was in my mind, that I had to create a passive income somehow. So I started learning finance. I started learning how to read balance sheets,
Hmm.
so that I can invest in share market. Because
So you
again,
you do invest in like stocks and like startups also, right?
yes,
Yeah,
not in startups, but
yeah,
yeah,
stocks.
in secondary market. Because I see
Yeah.
the problem with startups, investing in startup, you can do it today. There are a lot
Mm-hmm.
of avenues where you can invest in startups. The problem with that is that most of the time, since I've worked in startups, I know that most of the time the data is very fast.
Right, right.
The data that you are seeing is not the real data. Sorry, the light has. I have no clue. So
Aniket,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You've been a successful author, successful storytelling. You had bought that cult, engaging way storytelling. So, what does, particularly in India, if you I was going to your profile, uh, so you have what a kind of change, a new way, more engaging way you brought in India, the storytelling. So, what does storytelling mean to you? How can businesses use storytelling to engage their audience?
See, actually, the problem with today's companies is, see, when I worked in startups, they see these social media accounts as something where you can broadcast things, right? When you have an announcement to make, when you have a white paper to release, when you have a product launch, you just tell you use these mediums as a microphone or like a loudspeaker,
Hmm.
and you are trying to broadcast your content or your whatever you are trying to launch via these mediums. But that's not how it works, right? You When you are using these mediums, if there's no connect with the audience, people are not interested in your product. People are interested in your white paper, in your in your PR, in your funding announcements. They are not interested in those things. They are interested in how you reached there, what was the story behind it, how many people worked for it. Is there any person, is there a face behind it whom they can associate with? Like, for example, Zomato is a good example. Zomato has all these features and all these. Their product is very simple, but people can associate a face with Zomato brand, which is Dipender Goel's brand face, right? I think that connects with the. And similarly, if you take a think about Swiggy, there is no face associated with Swiggy,
Hmm.
right? Swiggy is a faceless brand.
Right,
Zomato has a face, which is his founder's face. Similarly, if you look at Chat GPT has a face, which is Sam Altman's face.
right,
Tesla has a face, which is Elon Musk. Tesla, even SpaceX. So Elon Musk is the face behind these brands. Like, you can connect with Elon Musk, and then you connect with the brands that he owns,
right, right, right.
right? similar. But if you look at many of the other brands like TCS, there is no face. But
Hmm.
TCS is a B2B company, so it doesn't matter to them. If you are into B2C space, it is important to have a face that people can relate to or that people can see. That is why when you are using social media, many
Hmm.
of the companies they use these logos, right?
Right, right, right.
They use these logos as their display picture on Twitter, on LinkedIn.
So,
So
but
how
yeah,
the problem is that how do you relate to that logo, to a logo?
right.
You cannot talk to a logo. You cannot think. You cannot connect with the logo, right? So that so again, if you are so even though you are using a logo on a social media thing, that is fine. But
Hmm.
whenever you are talking to a customer via your social media, always talk to their desires, their needs, rather than your features, your benefits, your product. That doesn't work anymore. So brands has to be personalized on social media. They just cannot say ki, uh, we are that used to work earlier because people there were less number of brands, people had less number of choices, right? And but today people have a lot of choices like Zepto, Instamart. You name it, there are 10. There are almost I think five or six quick commerce delivery brands, right? Within a span of 2 years, right?
So
And
that's
they are
why
working.
founders today nowadays they are on social media building
They
their brand
have to
as well.
be.
They
Yeah,
have
they
to be.
have to be. There's no other option,
Right,
right?
right.
Swiggy now Swiggy is see Swiggy is probably will start doing this. They because once you are a public company, then you also have to manage the expectation of the investors. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When you are a private company, you are funded privately funded. You can you can make mistakes. You can you know get away with it. But when you're a public company, you have to be very sure that what you are putting out on the social media. So where Zomato has been doing that very very nicely till now. They
Mm-hmm.
have been to the point that what we want to put in the social media, it has to resonate with the audience, but without hurting the sentiment of the investors, right?
Right.
Without hurting their share price. Similarly, Swiggy also has to start. But I mean, I'm just giving an example. I'm not talking
Hmm.
about that. Okay, Swiggy has to do this, Swiggy has to do that. But yeah, brands who are in public, who are uh, like who have retail shareholders of they are into share markets, they have to trade social media in a different way. And companies who are you know privately funded or VC funded, they can use social media in a different way, right? So I think that is why you see a lot of people taking social media and
Hmm.
building their personal brand. Many of them are using ghostwriters, which is fine. I think if you don't have time to write, you can obviously talk to somebody and give them like what you think, and then that person can craft it into words and you can put it via social media. So I think
Right.
that works. Whatever works for you, I think, but it is important. And if you are a D2C brand founder, or if you have a D2C brand, you have to have a personal brand. You have to uh, show your face. That's why you see there are many digital marketing agencies. There are many companies like who are selling direct to the customers, right?
Right.
They always talk about their products, but they also talk about their competitors. They also talk about memes. They also talk about the trendy topics. So it's always like my formula is always keep it 10 per if you are posting 10 times, talk about your brand once, talk about other things nine times, right? Don't always keep selling. Because if you are always selling, then there's also a problem because people
Some
don't like to be sold every time.
right. Ankit, you've been like successful in storytelling. Uh, so
Yeah.
when brands and startups companies approach you, what are their biggest challenges to craft? So how
Most
do
of
you
the
help them
time,
to craft their stories?
see the thing is that I don't help them. I don't see I
Hmm.
don't work as a ghostwriter.
Right, right, right.
So I always tell them that I cannot write for you. I don't
Hmm.
have time
Right,
and I
right.
don't have a team. I work alone. I prefer to work alone because so this is something that I decided very early that I don't want to hire anyone. I hire. freelancers based on projects, but I don't
Hmm.
hire people who are on payroll, right? And so I always tell them that they can see. I always give them references that okay, you can talk to this person, you can talk to that person.
Hmm.
If you want a ghostwriter, if you want a content, if you want somebody who can write content for you. But I will always see my focus is always on what they want, where are they stuck, and how they can get out of that. And storytelling is see storytelling only works when you have a good product. If you don't have a good product, no, it's like if you don't have a good product, no marketing or nothing can save you, right? People will buy you from once,
Right.
but they will not buy you from again, and that is the problem. The profit sign repeat buying, repeat purchases. When some like if you buy a suppose if you buy a TV, Sony TV, and then you like the quality, then you go and buy their speakers, and then you buy something else, right, from Sony. So that is how the brands make money. They sell you one thing, then they if the quality is good, then you choose to buy other products from them, right? Similarly, if you and today the problem is with brands is that because of social media, people can talk negative about you if the experience is not up to a level, up to a certain level, right?
Right.
I
Right.
think that is very important. So brands have to uh, tread this path very carefully. That whatever they are selling,
Hmm.
it has to be up to a certain level. The quality has to be certain level. Then the storytelling, then the marketing, then everything else comes into. And again, when it comes to storytelling, the content is the centerpiece of it. And then you can create. So see, once you have a content ready, then you can create a Twitter tweet from it. Then you create a
Hmm.
LinkedIn post from it. You can create a video from it. You can create a podcast from it, right? So the product is the center, and then around it there has to be a story which has to be universally applicable to all the stakeholders. Like you cannot change your story every time,
It
right?
should be
And
appealing, something that resonate with
it should be
customers.
appealing. It should be consistent. You just cannot change the story every time. Um, like every 6 months, you are telling a new story. It should not be like that, right? Many people sell their what do you guys say hustle story. They talk about their struggles and all. But see what how I see it, that struggle or whatever it is, that is a part of the journey, right? You can glorify it, you can promote it, but you just cannot keep on doing it every other day. But okay, I was this, I was poor, and then I did that, this, and then it's like this is not Indian Idol. This is not a reality show.
Right.
This is something people can relate to your story. They will relate to your story, but they will not if you keep on harping on it. That okay, see how much I have achieved as a brand, as a person, as a founder. That doesn't work for long.
So
But I think
something,
that is the gist
yeah,
of it.
something that and nowadays social media people are critical. If anything कुछ भी गलत हो जाता तो direct
See,
comment.
trolling is a part of the game.
Right.
You have to have a thick skin.
Hmm.
Um, in my case, how I deal with it, that earlier I used to respond to these people if they have any problem with the content,
Hmm.
with the way with the way I'm writing. But now I just ignore them. I read the comments. I don't even reply. It's fine. People
Right.
have see you don't know what somebody's thinking, what somebody's like, what their situation is, right? And
Hmm.
what what their background is, why they are saying something.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you just cannot. And sometimes see the thing is that in writing, if you write something and you think that this is the meaning of it, the reader will obviously have the freedom to interpret it in any way he wants, right? So the problem is that when you are trying to explain to a person that this is how it is, this is how it should be, this is why you have written it, he or she might not agree with it because they are coming with a different mindset and they have a different perspective of life. So they can obviously say, "Okay, "Nahi, this is wrong. This is not how it is." Right? So that's fine. You cannot change. You are not. See. As a person, you are not here to change everybody's perspective. Nobody can do it. There are multiple people in the history who have done it, who have tried doing it. They have not been able to do it because every see that where people have their own mind, they can
Hmm.
think of their own, and sometimes people don't want to think. Then they want to follow somebody, and like so again. So there's always a sheep mentality also among us.
Right. Right.
Sometimes people don't want to think; they just want to follow somebody, and then they take it. If he's saying that this is wrong, this must be wrong, right? That's why you see a lot of things that people share small clips,
Right. Right. Nowadays, that
and
going viral. Yeah.
gets viral when you see the actual video, you see that there's nothing controversial in it. Somebody edited the clip or took out the clip out of context, and then we're seeing
Hmm.
that clip without any context that why it has been said, why, and then that gets viral or that gets blown up out of proportion. That happens a lot. So every time, whenever I see any of these clips, any of these viral content, I go back to the source. I see that where was this interview, where
Hmm.
this was said, and then I see the whole interview. That I see the particular segment that okay, this was the question, this was the answer. If there's any controversy, and still I give that person a benefit of doubt that this is his opinion, right?
Hmm. It
For
could be
for
opinion.
example,
Yeah. Right.
these are opinions. These are not facts.
Hmm.
2 plus 2
Okay.
is 4. That is a
Right.
fact. But if somebody says that I like orange and I don't like yellow, that is an opinion, right? That is his choice. You just cannot blame that person that why don't you like yellow?
So it's an, I would say, eye-opening message highlighted you. Something that it's opinion, not facts. Because people think that whatever in social media, uh,
See,
these are facts.
people always talk in opinions. Yeah, people
Right.
always talk in opinions, and social media consider it as a fact. See, if Harbhajan Singh said, suppose for example, I was just watching a video.
Hmm.
Harbhajan Singh, couple of years back, he was in a TV show, in a TV interview,
Hmm.
and there were Pakistani ex-cricketers also there, and he was on the Indian panel,
Hmm.
and they were talking about I think Asia Cup was uh, at that time Asia Cup was about to happen, and they were talking about hybrid model that Asia
Hmm.
Cup should be on hybrid model. So the Pakistani players were saying, I believe the name was Tanveer, I believe that
Hmm.
Pakistani player's name,
Right.
ex-cricketer's name. So he was saying that ठीक है, if you can do it in Asia Cup, but you cannot do it in ICC events. India
Hmm.
has to come to Pakistan, right? So
Right. Right.
Harbhajan Singh said that, but India has never come to Pakistan since 2008
Right. Right.
or 2009. So it is unlikely that it will come,
Hmm.
right? And then eventually Tanvi, the Pakistani cricketer, said that no, they have to come. I can challenge you. So Harbhajan Singh said, "ठीक है, I'll take your challenge. We will not come. India will not come."
Right.
So that was his opinion. That
Opinion.
see, the Pakistani player was saying that as a ICC event, India should come.
Right.
That was his opinion,
Right.
right? Because ICC has never said that in the ICC event there are obviously uh, clauses
Security
that you
issues were
can
there.
whatever there are always clauses, right?
Hmm.
That if the government says no, you obviously can bail out of it.
Right. Right.
But again, those are two people's opinion. Harbhajan Singh gave his opinion. That person gave his opinion, and today, whatever is happening, if you see, and there was a lot of controversy about Harbhajan Singh in Pakistan. That okay, he's always so they started doing propaganda against Harbhajan Singh, that he's somebody who is always against Pakistan, and
But
we have
Harbhajan, like in your opinion, he was right because security issues was there.
see he no secure. See, 2 years ago, you cannot just say security issues,
Hmm.
but his point was that since 2008, India has never visited Pakistan,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
The last series that happened in 2012, that was in India.
Hmm.
Pakistan team came to India,
Right. Right.
right? So he said that historically we have never been there. Like it's been almost what you can say 2008 to 2000, almost 14 years, right?
Right.
We have never been to Pakistan, and there has been no change in government policy even now.
Hmm.
So it is his point was it is highly unlikely that we will visit. and most probably it will be a no.
Right.
But when they aggravated him, when they, when they put him on the spot, and he
Hmm.
said, "ठीक है, I'll take your challenge. We will not come."
Correct.
His tone might be a bit angry, but he
But
said what
it's an opinion, right? As you mentioned, it's an
it
opinion.
was an opinion.
Yeah.
It was based on certain facts that okay,
Certain
we have
fact.
not come
Yeah.
for 14 years. After your opinions are based on some facts, right?
Hmm. Right.
Opinions are without any if the opinions are not based on any facts, those are just rumors.
Right. So again, Ankit, you were like given a great perspective. Like opinion we are seeing in social media are these on facts? This should be validated, right? It's a very
Exactly. So
highlighting message,
many people say on social media that this is the way you can be rich.
right?
And if you do those, because say they give the example that I have done this, and this, and then I got rich.
Right. Right.
But you started in 2000. Suppose you started in 2014. Today is 2000. So now it's 10 years. You started
Hmm.
10 years ago, right? Now we are sitting in 2024, at the end of 2024, and there is also AI that has come into picture. In 2014, there was no AI.
Right.
Probably the market that you are in, maybe at that time it was not very what you can say. There were not many competitors. Not many people were doing it. Now, suppose earlier, if there were 10 people doing it, what you were doing, now there are 1,000 people doing whatever you are doing. So the market is saturated. There's more competition. So people just, and when you are saying that I did it this way, so now you should follow my lead. That is not how it is. You can obviously take examples, you can take inspiration, you can take some part of it, but eventually the thing is that you have to carve your own path. You have to do whatever, and obviously your financial situation, your family situation, your own situation is not similar to what that person was, right, at the beginning of his journey. Some people, suppose I have
Hmm.
a home loan, I have a car loan, I have some other loan, and I have to pay 1 lakh or 1,50,000 rupees in EMI only,
Hmm.
for example, and I'm earning suppose 3 lakhs. So out of those 3 lakhs, I am giving 1.5 in EMIs, for example,
Hmm.
and then I need some 80,000 for my monthly expenses because I'm living in a city like Bangalore or Mumbai, right? So I need like there's a obviously let's see, I need another 60,000. So that means like 1.5 plus 60 is 2.10 lakhs, right?
Right.
Now I have 90,000. So then you have your kids' school fees and multiple other things that you want to go on a holiday, you want to, and then some. Then if somebody asks you that you should invest 1 lakh rupees in SIPs or 50,000 in SIP, it is not possible for you.
Right.
Or
Right.
if somebody says that leave your job and start doing a business, you cannot do it because from 3 lakhs per month you are going back to zero, and still you have those EMIs of 1.5 lakhs, and you still have to have those 60,000 which you need for your monthly expenses. Right? So
Right.
you need
Right.
at least 2 lakhs per month just to survive in that city. And obviously, you cannot leave your job.
Right.
You cannot leave your job and start your business or start working on your dream. It doesn't happen like that.
So, Ankit, you highlighted this like something detailed perspective because in social media, people are saying doing SIP because you mentioned everybody's journey is
See,
different.
SIP investment every time. See, investment is something you do when you have money that you can spend or invest, and
Hmm.
you don't need it. Right? Suppose if I have 20,000,
Hmm.
right, and I need 12,000 for my expenses. So I only have 8,000 left. Now I still need some money for the emergency purpose, right? I cannot just put all the 8,000 in SIPs. So I'll think that, okay, I need to have an emergency fund. I need to have something. If I need something additional, I need to have some money at hand.
Hmm.
So it is okay if you do SIP for 2,000. It is okay. And if you don't do it, it is also okay. And if you don't want to do it, because you think that, okay, even 8,000 will be less if I need it, but okay, don't do it. You only invest that money which you do not need in the near future, or which you can just say that, okay, If I lose some part of it, I'm okay with it. I have seen my portfolio gone like lose 50% of its value. I've seen it. But
Uh,
because I was
right.
okay with it, I knew that this will happen, this can happen. I've seen, so it's fine. And then that went back to again 100%.
So how do you like derive that courage, like when 50% was down on your
See,
portfolio?
you always look at the companies that you have invested. Are there? See, the market can go up and down,
Hmm.
right? But you always invest in the market, but your focus should be in the companies that you have invested. So market is okay. Market runs on sentiments also. There are a lot of
Hmm.
other factors. Like if something happens in the US, Indian market might be affected. If something happens in Russia, Ukraine war, markets might be affected. Right? There are a lot of international there are a lot of geopolitics issues that you cannot control. Right. So I think it is better to focus on the companies that you're invested in. Focus on their fundamentals. Are they okay? Are the companies doing okay? There might be some quarters they might not be making that much profit. Like HDFC Bank, it
Hmm.
might not make the desired amount of profit every
Right. Right.
every quarter, right? And that is why analysts say that okay, we expected them to give a profit of 10%, but they only gave 8%. So then the share price will come down because the analysts were not happy because they expected something and they didn't get it. But that is fine, right?
Fundamentals are still intact, so that is fine,
Fundamentals
right?
are still intact. The NPAs are, suppose in case of banks, the NPAs are in check. The bank has not done anything which is like out of ordinary. Like you know that HDFC Bank will not do these things. So if
Hmm.
they are not doing those things and they are doing what they always promise that okay, we'll be only focused on these classical banking. We'll give loans after a lot of uh, what you can say due diligence. We will keep our NPS in check. So that is fine. Now, that is what you want from a bank. Even as a customer, also you want that from a bank. You don't want your bank to do something which is very risky and lose, and then it will lose your money also, right? Because it is taking that risk from your money, right? You created some FDs, and that money will be used to give loans, right? That is how it works, right? Banks, how they that's how the banks work. They take the money that is in the savings account, or that is in the FD, and then they use that to give loans to other people, right? And then they make money. That is a simple banking thing, right? You don't want HDFC Bank to become Yes Bank.
Right. Right.
You don't want it to become some bank which will be losing money, and then they have to shut down, and then you cannot take out even your own money. You don't want that.
So these things you come to know from data itself, fundamentals, company's data, balance sheet,
Yes,
and
I read their balance sheet. I read their 5 or 6 years
hmm.
old balance sheets. I see that what they are doing, how the profits are rising. Uh, if there's a sudden increase in the profit or sudden increase in the losses, then what was the reason? Because sometimes there's a one-time loss, one-time profit, right?
Hmm.
They won some case, they
Hmm.
got some money, or they lost some case, they have to give some money, which is a one-time thing. So then obviously that will affect their balance sheet, but that is a one-time thing. The thing is that the company has to have a solid. The company should be doing something which their competitors are not doing, or they have to be in a monopoly or duopoly system. Like in Jio or Airtel case, in Reliance, like Jio and Airtel, they are two big major telecom players in India, right? There is no other third player. Vodafone is there, but it is not a very big player
Hmm.
right now. So they are majorly two players. So you can easily invest in any of those two companies, or maybe you invest in both companies. Like you invest in Reliance, you invest in Airtel.
Hmm.
Tomorrow, when Reliance will decide to, suppose, of course, it will decide to demerge Geo from it. It's like, right, like they demerged Geo Financial Services. So you keep your putting your money in Reliance. Then one day when they decide, okay, we want to take Geo Telecom out of it. So that's fine. You will get shares of Geo also without doing anything. Like for example, if you invest in Reliance today, you are getting three companies at the cost of one. One is Reliance in refinery wala,
Hmm.
Reliance Oil. One is Jio Telecom. One is Reliance Retail. So there are three big companies already. So you are actually it's like a buy one get three offer.
Additionally, you're getting dividend as well.
A dividend getting you're also getting growth, na.
Right, right.
Dividend is fine. I don't care about dividends. I care about growth.
Growth,
If
right.
you are investing in one company, you are getting three companies in return.
Hmm.
It's like a sale.
Start looking for a side hustle, which
Yes,
is
I yes.
really important in today's generation. What advice you like to give who's trying to put a writing career or has a
See,
side hustle in
I'll tell
content
you.
basically?
I got a message yesterday last. I'll just read it for you.
Hmm.
Uh, I got a mail from somebody. So this is something which I get a lot
Right.
from people. I'll just read it for you so that I don't get it wrong. Uh, yes, so this is the mail. Hi, Ankit.
Hmm.
Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so this mail is saying, or this query is saying, I worked for tech startups for about a decade, largely in PNL strategy, whatever, founder office roles. Now I do not want to continue with the job part, and I want to build the consulting side. My expertise include building the founder's office customer experience for B2C business.
Hmm.
Right. I am a regular at LinkedIn, but my engagement rates are low. Also, my reach outs and distribution capabilities are weak. Since you had a similar journey 4 years back, wanted your guidance on the entire project. This is the question that I got.
Hmm.
So this is something which is I don't know. He might be in his 30s or late 30s or whatever.
Hmm. I'm next year I'm
He-
going to reach yeah, this is something really important about
So
nowadays
I
also.
get I get these kind of mails. I get these kind of queries. Sometimes people book calls also. I had a call
Hmm.
on Monday
Hmm.
where I spoke with a person who was in his 40s and
Hmm.
he wanted to start a consulting side hustle. He was a consultant, obviously. So he
Right.
wanted to start his consulting side hustle. And the first thing people want is they want to leave their job. I would say
Hmm.
do not leave your job. Never leave. If you have a job which is paying you well,
Hmm.
if it is you are living in a city like tier one city like Bangalore, Gurgaon, Mumbai, Chennai, whatever, and you and you have loans, you have EMIs to pay, do not leave your job. I would see if you think your job is tough,
Hmm.
business or starting something on your own is 10 times tougher. It's not like that, okay, I'll leave my job and then there are customers waiting for me to just give me money. That's not how it happens. People, if you leave your job without any plan, without any financial planning, without any with loans, with EMIs to pay, right? And with no
Hmm.
backup, it is highly unlikely that you will go again. You will again go back to some other job. You will start looking for a job within 6 months, and then you will come out better. You will come out more frustrated. You will have more problems in life because you think you are a failure because you left your job, then you started something, it failed, then you again went back to a job. So that will obviously affect your mental space. That will affect your family's mental space. Your family's dynamics,
Hmm.
right? So it is better not to leave your job. It is always good to start something when you have a job. See, if you hate your job, that is fine. Everybody hates their job. Yeah, who likes their job? That is a
Nowadays, social
universal truth.
media, opinion opinion influencer, they are giving advice.
No, this is universal truth. Everybody hates their job.
Yeah,
The only person who loves their job is that who is the founder or who is
exactly.
the founder's son or the founder's daughter. They
Correct.
love their job. They don't have to do because they have created a system where other people are working for them and they are
Hmm.
getting rich or they are getting money, right? So they have created a system where
Hmm.
other people can be employed to run that system. Zomato is the Dipinder Goyal is not running Zomato. He is
Hmm.
not doing day-to-day work. He has created a system where other people are working on different things, and
Hmm.
the Zomato as a company is running as a whole, running in a good shape, right? Similarly, if you see Tata Motors, right? So Tata Motors, I don't remember the name of the CEO,
Hmm.
uh, but Tata Motors was in losses at one point of time, huge losses. But they created a system. They knew, they understood that where the problems were, and then they created a system to plug those loopholes, right? And now the whole system is running in a way that people are buying Tata cars,
Hmm.
and there are different people, different employees who are aiding that system, who are helping that system to run smoothly. So as a even as a side hustle, you have to create these systems first, and thankfully it is very much possible using automation, using AI. There are a lot of like, and but that takes time creating those systems,
Hmm.
finding the product that is going to sell. Right. First, the thing is that first you have to create a product. The second thing, see, creating a product is easy. The main challenge is to sell them. People don't know how to sell. People don't know how to take rejections. People don't know how to take when somebody says no to you, how to take it, how to handle it.
Hmm. Acceptance
Then
is not
then
there.
so they take it personally. If somebody says, "Yeah, your product is shit," people take it personally. It's like, so your product is not your extension.
Hmm.
It's not your arm. It's not your leg. Just a product, right? If somebody is saying that it's not a good product, it might not be a good product for them. It's fine. It happens. I read so many books.
Hmm.
I've written so many books. I get a lot of one-star reviews at times. I read it. Sometimes I read it. It's fine. It might not work for you. The book might not work for you. The story might not work for you. The book might not work for you. The writing might not work for you. That's fine.
That is like a 90% people liked you, 95, 99% people liked you, maybe 1 or 0.5%.
See, our mind is like that. If 10 people are praising you,
Yeah.
you ignore them. If one person is criticizing you, a whole focus will be on that person.
Yeah.
Why he criticized me? Why he said that thing about me? So our minds are like that. My books have an average rating of 4.5 on Amazon, right? 4.5
Hmm.
stars. So obviously not it's not 5 stars. So there will be some reviews which were like 2 star, 1 star, 3 star, right? That is why the average is 4.5, 4.4, or 4.7, right?
Hmm.
So when you know, and if I look at my earlier books, like which I wrote in 2017, 2018, those even have a lower rating. They are like 4.1, 4.2, those kind of ratings, 4.3. Now what I'm writing, that comes around 4.7, 4.5, 4.6. So I've improved as a writer in 4 or 5 or 6 years.
Hmm.
But people, if you read my earlier books, you'll say that yeah, he's not a good writer. He's a okay writer. If you read my current books, you might say that okay, yeah, he has improved a lot. So the thing is that I am improving a lot. That is important for me also, and that is important for my readers also. Similarly, when you have a product to sell, you should be make sure you have to be ready that people will not like it or might not like it. There will be people. But if they have some good feedback to give it, like if they have some constructive feedback that okay, if you do this, this might be more useful, then you can take it. Or you can whatever, you can also ignore it, but that is your choice. But you can just cannot keep on focusing on that thing, that okay, how can he say that? How can he write that? On social media, you get, that's why when you write on social media, you get a lot of you get thick skinned. That is the benefit of social media. When you are launching a product, when you are
Hmm.
launching a site, it is better to start writing on social media, because people will troll you, and once you get over that trolling, once you know how to handle that trolling or how to handle that negativity, it will help you as a business person also.
Hmm.
But don't leave your job. Start something while you are at your job. Use your salary as your seed capital. If you need a tool to buy, if you need some AI tools like which has a monthly
Hmm.
subscription, if you need some of that money, use your salary to fund your side hustle, your whatever business you are trying to do. That will also help you to understand whether you can sell it or not. You can create a product, but you cannot. If you cannot sell it, then obviously there is no money. Creating product is very easy today. Very easy, especially if it's a digital product. The problem
Great.
is selling. The
Yeah.
problem is finding the tough. The problem is finding people who want to buy it, right? Because you cannot just say that okay, India has 1.4 billion people, so yeah, I'll find. Well, I have a large target size audience. That doesn't happen. You have to find your audience. That is why social media will help. Social media will also help you to find your audience because if you're writing about your content, if you're writing about your product, your ideas, that this is what you're doing, you will find people who will support you and who will eventually become your customers. I have a problem, but I cannot solve it. So if you solve it for me, I'll pay you. But you and I have never met. I don't know that whether you are doing anything to solve my problem. So there is only social media through which I can reach out to you. But I need to know whether you exist or not. So again, you have to write on social media to let me know that you exist,
Hmm.
so that I can reach out to you when I need that product or that service or that solution. Because you have that solution. So I'll pay it for you. Pay for it.
Ankit, do you think traditional job 9 to 5 model is being replaced by the opportunity for solopreneurs? How
It
can
will be it will be replaced. It is already see eventually the see AI has taken the customer service model,
Hmm.
right? AI is replacing the regular customer service models that we have. A lot of companies will start doing it sooner or later. I think and see the problem, even if it's not AI, the problem is that after 40, 45, companies are not ready to hire people or they are not ready to keep those people which are
Hmm.
on 45, which are on 50. So earlier the retirement age was 60, not long ago. Even my father retired at 60. But now in our age, in our generation, the retirement age is 45, 42, 43. And people don't understand that if you leave your job voluntarily, if you leave your job on your own, it is very hard to get a job. I know people who left their job because they were angry from their bosses or they were frustrated and they are not able to get a job again. Or they are getting a job at a lower package. So now they are thinking that they should not have left the job.
You mentioned a
The
system
pro-
should be there when you're leaving a job. There should be system.
See, the thing is that if you want to start consulting side hustle, if you want to start something, you need to start it while you are in your job, in the job. While you are earning money, and you should only leave when you are earning twice the amount of your current salary. And that is not income, that is a profit. Income minus expenses is profits, right? When you have a profit which is double the amount of salary that you are getting, and it should be on a consistent basis. It's not like that one month you like there was one good month when you earned a lot, and then the next month was again a downer. That's not it. If you have a 4 to 5 months of consistent sales,
Sorry.
consistent profits, which is double your salary or your current salary, then you can think of leaving your job.
This is the second last question, Ankit. What are the
Yeah.
common challenges people face when shifting to solopreneurship, and how they can overcome them? You've been
Thus,
successful creating a system for yourself. You've been
the
inspiration.
challenge is
Yeah.
delegation. I think the problem is that when you want to do everything perfectly,
Hmm.
right? The thing is that doing something perfectly, but without any consistency, if you're doing everything very perfectly, but you are not doing it consistently, and if somebody is doing everything okayish, but they are doing it consistently, that person will go faster than you. Perfection is the killer of growth. I think that is why. So I think people think that okay, I now I'm a solopreneur. I should everything that is going out is on my name, so it should be perfect. Otherwise, what people think? People don't think anything.
It's
Social
just
media.
perception, our perception.
So social media has a very short memory, na? Until unless you are in a controversy,
Hmm.
and even if you are in a controversy, people still forget about you in a month or so, right?
Right.
But if you're doing a grammatical mistake in your content, I do a lot of grammatical mistakes in my content.
Hmm.
But it happens when you are writing, if you're creating content at this scale and you are doing it alone, you are doing whatever you are doing. But if you are not taking any help, but it's fine, no? It's fine. If you're typing on your phone, if you're typing a post on your phone, spelling mistakes will happen. You can obviously check it,
Hmm.
but you still might miss it. But once it is out there, it's out there. If you can edit it, do it. If you can't, then fine, then it's fine. So perfection, so again, at times I have written posts which had a lot of like silly mistakes.
Hmm.
But I move on to the next post. People forget about it. Even I forget about it. So perfection is second thing is automation. People have to understand that they need to learn automations. They need to learn how to connect social media with the email marketing system, with the Shopify store, right? And vice versa. And whatever automations they need, whatever if they need different tools to talk to each other so that their whole system can work. If they need to learn that, they should learn that. They must learn that. The third thing I would say is that leaving too early. Like I have seen people who have worked for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks,
Hmm.
and then they said that there's no growth, there's no response, like their blog is not going. They started blogging, suppose couple of weeks earlier, and now
Hmm.
they're saying that okay, I have been writing for 2 weeks. I'm writing 3 articles per day for 2 weeks. So it's like I've written 100 articles, let's say, in 2 or 3 weeks, and nothing is happening. And then they stop. Then they move on to some other thing, like they move on to YouTube, they move on to Twitter. Then they again spend 2 3 weeks there, and nothing happens. Then they move on to the next thing. That is not how things work.
You
I
need to
have
have
been
the
in
patience.
patience, consistency, everything, persistence. You have to persist. The thing is that when I started writing, there were a lot of people who were writing. In 2008, 2009, 2010, they were like, if you, they were almost everybody I could see on Facebook. At that time, Facebook was a big thing. So everybody was writing a book, and they were getting published. And there were a lot of publishing houses, like small publishing houses that cropped up, and they were publishing these books, 100 rupees books, 150 rupees books. Chetan Bhagat, because of the Chetan Bhagat's effect, I'm still writing. 2000, how many years? Like 2008.
16
Suppose
years
let's say
almost. Yeah.
2010 was my first book, right? And
Hmm.
now we are in 2024, so it's almost
14. Yeah.
14 years, right? I was still writing, and many of those, if I see on Facebook, they are doing jobs. They are somebody is in US, somebody is
Right.
in India. They have done MBAs, but they are not writing. They're not writing books anymore. They've written a couple of books. That's it.
But it
The
could
thing
be
is that
Ankit, just to add one perspective. But you got early success is the reason others don't got. Maybe
no,
people go.
there was no early success. My first book sold around 50,000 copies. That's what my publisher told me.
Hmm,
Right. My second book got sold around 30, 35,000 copies.
hmm.
My third book was a flop. My fourth book sold only for 17 copies. So you
Still,
can see
you
this. The,
didn't give up.
no, I wanted to write stories, right? You are seeing that, okay, I from 50 to 35 to some
Hmm,
20,000, then 17 copies only. So from 1,000, you are going to 17 copies, right?
right.
So see success or see it's not a linear path.
Hmm,
It is something if you like the thing is that always think that if you are doing something, always think it from that perspective. If if you don't get if you don't get paid for it, will you still do it? If the answer is yes, then you should keep on. You should eventually start getting money for it. See, if I want to write stories, if people don't
hmm,
buy my books, I will still write stories. I'll do something else for earning money, but I'll
hmm.
still write stories.
That's your passion, right? Ankit, this
So
brings to the yeah.
that is how you should think when you are doing
Hmm,
something. If I start writing on LinkedIn,
hmm,
I don't get paid for it. But does that make me think that okay, I should stop writing on LinkedIn? Similarly, if I write on Twitter and if I don't get any followers, if I don't get paid for it, would I stop writing on Twitter? So anything you do, you should always think it that if I don't get paid for it for like 5 years, 6 years, or
hmm.
maybe forever, will I still be interested in doing it? If yes, the answer is yes, then you should do it.
It's really great to know this perspective you have shared. This brings to the last question. You've been a successful content creator, storyteller, and people connect with your content, with your books. You've been a successful author as well, best-selling author. Uh, Before we wrap up, do you have any final thoughts or advice for our listeners who are watching this podcast? Tell their own stories to elevate their content game.
See, I would say that start writing, start creating content, even if you are in a job. It could be a podcast, it could be a YouTube video, it
Right.
could be writing on LinkedIn or social or Twitter or whatever. It could be on Instagram, sharing photos. Start doing it. See, the thing is that day one, day or day 10, you might not get anything, but think of day 100, think of day 100, think of day 300, think of day 1,000. After 1,000 days or after 300 days, you will be at a level where, where people will start thinking you were as somebody who started with with a passion, now still continuing with that. People will start following you, people will start listening to you, and eventually that is a good opportunity to start a side hustle also. Social media will help you find your audience. Social media will help you better your skills in terms of content creation, in terms of speaking, in terms of your confidence level, right? People and obviously there will be negativity on the way, but that's fine. That happens. If people are not talking about you in positive or negative way, then that is also an issue, right? I think that is important. Second thing is that always think in long term. Always don't think that okay, if I start today, what will happen after 1 week, after 2 weeks. Always think that what will happen after 6 months, after 1 year, after 2 years. Because suppose 10 people start today along with you. In
Hmm.
1 month, five will drop out. In 6 months, two or three more will drop out. By the end of 2 years, only either you will left or there will probably one more person who will who will be doing it. After 10 years, after 5 years, if you are doing it, probably you will have new people who are competing with you, but you are again 5 years ahead of them, right?
Right.
That is why consistency matters, persistence matter, because people drop out. They, for whatever reasons, could be family situation, could be their own situation. See, you cannot just uh, blame them for not continuing because you don't know what their situation was, why they left. But again, consistency matters, persistence matters. There is no other shortcut. There is no other silver bullet to it.
Ankit, thank you so much for sharing your insight with us today. From the power of storytelling to practical tips on content strategy, your expertise is invaluable. So it's a
Thank
wrap
you.
up. That brings us to the end of today's insightful episode with Ankit. A huge thanks to Ankit Uttam for sharing his incredible insights to storytelling, content strategy, and evolving landscape of AI and digital marketing. Ankit's journey and expertise have truly been inspiring. For our listeners, if you're looking to evaluate your content game, leverage AI, or understand how to tell stories that resonate, I have included Ankit's LinkedIn profile in the description. Make sure you check out and follow him. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and like Set Talks. Until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating, and most importantly, keep telling your story. Thank you, Ankit, again for tuning in.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanjay.
Yeah.